Alright. Boop. And I'm live. I love Sketchup. Issue 56 is filmed in front of a live studio audience. Alright, let me just make sure I got the right brush. It seems very pale to me. That's at 100, that's at 100. Strange. Is it just a really small brush? What am I at? Oh, I'm at 2. There we go. Let's pump that up a little. That's much better. Zeno says hello. Hello, Zeno. Da-da-da-da-da. I wonder what we'll sketch out today. Wait a good like 4 or 5 minutes for some people to show up in the lobby, and then I'll start sketching. It's hard. Like every now and then I feel like sketching out like a base skeleton for what I'm gonna work on for the day. But if I don't know what I'm gonna do right away, then it never works out. Like I could easily draw something and then after at one point be like, oh man, there's no way. Like if I were to do like I might completely change my vibe based off of what I'm gonna end up drawing. See, like right now I'm thinking of something a little more dynamic. And again, the second I start drawing it, then it'll be like, alright Eric, I want you to draw me a transformer, and then this won't necessarily fit for that. Although I don't know if I would draw a transformer. Not in a transformer mood these days. I'm really sorry, I'm just tired. My comic's almost finished. All I have to do is wait for my print shop to give me, like, ask them a couple of questions. And I'm just waiting to find out what the answers are before I start sending out my stuff to print. Zuki, yeah man, 56 up in here. And I think I mentioned this before, but I've been doing live streaming for a lot longer. It's just, I had it under a different name. And when I decided to change it to I Love Sketchup, I was like, meh, I'm going to start back at 1. And the truth is lost. Oh, Zeno. Alright now. I really don't know what to sketch out right now. I'm just like, meh. Normally I would have like an illustration ready that I would start prepping for like a large illustration, but I'm just not feeling it these days. I work so hard on my comic and like I'm so close to the end of it that I need a break. I'm quoting a Metal Gear song lyric. I've never played the Metal Gear games. It's one of the few games that I've never played, Zeno. I don't know why, I never did. Maybe drinking some water will wake me up. Alright. Delicious water. Alright, I think it's about time we start taking requests. It's 7:02. I told people I was going to be on here at 7 like I always do, so it's been 2 minutes. Alright, what would you like to see me draw today? Write it down in the comments, please. Today I managed to score myself a SD card for my Nintendo Switch. I've been, like, I like to buy my cartridges. I don't like getting downloadable games that much, like digital ones. But, even at that, like, I just don't have any space. Like, I bought Starlink, and I got the the physical copy, and yet I still had to download 10 gigs. 10 gigs worth of junk on my Switch, which basically filled it up completely, so I had to buy an SD card. And I get certain games, like I don't really have time to play a lot of games. I buy a lot of games because I'm like, I really want to play this one day in the future. So, I mean, I still played Super Nintendo games up to a while ago that I had that I'd never played yet, that I'm like, oh yeah, I've been saving this for years. And so I kind of do the same thing with the Switch, you know, like I've got a whole whack of games where I'm like, oh, one day I'll play them. Currently I'm playing Xenoblade and I love it. I love it so much. So much that I want to do a nice Cosmos fan art. She's not even the main character. She's like a random Easter egg character in that game, and I played Xenosaga a lot when I was a kid, so drawing a nice Cosmos would be really cool, I think. But I like a lot of the main characters too. I mean, I don't know if any of you have played Xenoblade, but Pyra and Mithra are pretty cool. I really like Poppy, but I despise Tora. Can't stand him. Can't stand the way he talks. Can't stand him. He's like he's just a jerk. He's not really a nice person either, so it's like, ugh. Let's see who we can mix up with Salvaria. Bless. Valkyrie Chronicles. Cool. Sounds good. I'll check it out. Salvaria. There's so many different styles and illustrations and renditions of this character, it's ridiculous. Ooh, an actual character sheet? I guess she's a bad guy. I like this one more. Let's go with this one. Alright, so copy image. Oh, that's not the good place to put that. Let's put it with my references. I think that's not really a good drawing of her. I'll grab something better. I did see something that was much better. I saw her actual character sheet, like her anime one. So I'm just going to use that. You can't possibly get better reference than this. Like an actual character design sheet, like that's perfect. Let's just move this down here. I don't think I'll be needing all of this, but I'll take it anyway. Alright. So, we've got her, and who else are we going to put in? Anyway, if you want a free game, they're literally giving away Sims 4 Basic Edition for free on Origin. I don't think I would play a game like Sims 4. Like, I'm super particular with my games. Although Valkyria Chronicles looks awesome. Like, I've seen a lot of things for it, and it looks like a really pretty game. Zoo! Is there anything you want me to draw, man? Write it in the comment. Yeah, there we go. Draw Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo. Oh my gosh. Super funny. I was talking about Tenchi Muyo to my wife the other day, and I haven't talked about it for the longest time, but I was, like, random anime music was playing in the background at my place, and then all of a sudden the Tenchi Muyo theme song kicks in. Like the English one, where it's like, get ready, love will leave you crying. And I was like, oh my gosh, this song. And then I told her about how it was one of the most hardcore harems from back in the day. Tenchi Muyo. And actually, hold on. Tenchi Muyo, Ryoko. Yeah, Ryoko's awesome. Now I just gotta find a really good reference illustration of her, because there's like different versions of Tenchi Muyo, and they've changed her look quite often depending on the artist that does it. I'd like to take something that's more original. Alright, let's go with this one. Copy. I gotta throw that there like that. Actually, let's put it down here. I want to see everything, so make it a little... Actually, I can cut some of this. Let's cut this. Snip. Snap. And it almost fits in there, too. That's too bad. Let's put her on top of that girl. There we go. So we've got Ryoko X. Shoot, how did I spell her name? There we go. Silvara Bless. There we are. Anyway, if you want, Fire Emblem meets World War II. Are you talking about the new Fire Emblem game coming out? What is it called? Oh, you're saying that's what Valkyrie Chronicles is like. Really? So in it, you end up, can you have like kids and stuff like that, like in Fire Emblem? Or, my other question is, do you get relationships like in Fire Emblem as well? Is that like why you're saying that, or is it like the more like the gameplay style, like the tactical RPG aspect? I always thought that the relationship, like the shipping in Fire Emblem was really fun. I thought it was cool how it would like, you'd hook two people up together and then they'd have a kid and their kid would have like different like physical attributes depending on like who the parents were. Whoop. That's weird. There we go, that's better. Alright, let me save so I've got everything ready to go, and let's mix these characters up. There are relationships and families, but they're plot mandated. You can't directly ship characters. Okay, yeah, I get you. My brush is too heavy. Let's make it a little smaller. Let's go down to 10. There we go. I'm too late. Yeah, sorry, Robert. Eric, want to have an idea if many people will buy a comic? I self-publish. Do many people buy Blythe when you sell it at a convention? Yeah. I sell, actually, like, I sell quite a few of my comics. I try to sell them in, like, packages because I have 4 individual issues. But this year is going to be a little different because I'm making my trade paperback. So my trade paperback, I think I'm going to be able to push that really easily because it's just one giant product. Let's put her in the same Ryoko style pose. This seems like a pose both of them would take, so I'm going to do it. Here. However, you can get access to a huge assortment of soldiers who could die if you're careless. Okay. Just missed it. Each character has their own ending. You can even get Vice and Aika from Skies of Arcadia. Oh, that's cool. Not sure why I just got the notification. Whoa. I had posted it 15 minutes in advance. Normally I'm like a half an hour early, and this one time I was not. I totally missed it. Right, this girl's got a huge rack, and Ryoko's got a pretty big rack too, so let's get in there. Okay, let's make this a little smaller. Because I gotta get in on that hair. In the UK, you started streaming at midnight. Tomorrow is my day off, though. Oh boy. Well, that's sweet. Do you normally have the following day off like that? No, this is gonna be her fist like this. It's gonna come up, and then I'll have her fingers back there. That's just what popped up was the. That's what just popped up was the Patreon. Things may change, but Wednesdays are my day off currently. Oh, that's nice. All right, so let's see. Ryoko mixed with this girl's hair. Let's bring this eye a little closer. Let's do the same kind of eyelashes, Tenchi Muyo style. I'm not really super fond of them, but all their eyelashes look like that, so she is a space alien after all. And she's got like her hair kind of like, oh yeah, she's got the same kind of like straight cut like Morgan from Darkstalkers. So let's do that. She's got really long these, and I'll do them, but I'll do them like Morgan as well. Or I'll make them flat. Can't tell what kind of ears this girl has. I think they're elfish, so I'm gonna. It's 4:15 p.m. for me. What? That's sweet. This is very upsetting that I keep missing the streams. Aw, man. Sorry, Robert. I live in Arizona. Arizona. I'm gonna do like little, make it flat at the end like that. Alright, now that I've done all that, let's do something like this. Alright, I'll start off by giving her kind of like this robotic piece that she's got here. I'll make it come down and turn it into a belt piece. Isaac! Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Alright, now that she has this, I'm going to make this come in like this. Give her the same sort of thing that Ryoko's got. Let's see, this will end up, let's make this connect up here like this. Same with that. And she'll have like her military style shoulder pads here. Here, there we go. Like that. How am I going to do this part? Okay, set an alarm for 3:55 p.m., Robert. Make it go off every Tuesday. Oh my gosh, Robert, that's actually the best idea. Thanks, Zeno. Try 3:50 to be safe. Because I have an alarm on my clock that goes off at 6 o'clock every single Tuesday to remind me that I have to do this at 7. Well, it's 7 p.m. where I'm at right now. So just so that I don't forget, because it's happened when I first started doing my live streams, I would forget sometimes because I'm always busy working on my comics, so like I just zone out, especially when I'm drawing. Sometimes I'm just drawing and I don't even see the time go by. Okay, let's do her arrow piece that's here. And have it coming out there. I can do that like that. They both kind of have like the same piece that comes down here, so I'm going to definitely do that. She's gonna have a back one too. Let's make this a little smaller. Just because I don't want it to just cut at the end, and I want it to show a bit of that, so let's go like that. And now for her gloves. This girl's got gloves that are practically coming off the end of her hand in one of these illustrations, which I find really, I don't like that as a design. I don't find it's very nice. But I'm gonna probably take this Tenchi Muyo Ryoko's arm pieces here. Let's go like, we'll give her like bracer looking things around her wrists. And maybe I'll make them stick out a bit so it kind of feels like the ones from Salvaria. And then afterwards, the gloves, I'm going to make it come in like this. So it's like really... Like her fist is like coming in there. It really bugs me right now. I'm going to have to fix her whole arm here. It's not like where I need it to be. Let me grab this. Let's move it out more, like this. And this way I can grab this. Let's bring it in a lot more, like that, I guess. There we go, like this. And this I can cut because it's a little too long. Bring it in like that. Oh my gosh, my cat's meowing. Hey, Mary. There we are. Now we got ourselves a space pirate general. Alright, let's lower the opacity down on this and get to work on my nicer sketch. New cosplay Georgie from It. Oh my gosh. So you're just gonna wear an umbrella, or sorry, an umbrella. So Isaac, you're just going to wear like a yellow raincoat and walk around with a little paper boat, or are you going to be missing an arm and put tons of fake blood everywhere and still have that little raincoat? Valkyria Chronicles features one of the best tanks in video games, the Edelweiss. Edelweiss, Edelweiss. Paying tribute to the old school. Get ready, love will leave you crying. Get ready. I don't know yet. That's cool, Isaac. You'll figure it out, man. What you could always do is make it like at the beginning of the convention. You should show up dressed up in the costume regularly, and then on like the second day of the convention, then you should show up and it should be all bleeding because you're gonna be there the whole weekend. So people will remember. So basically, you'd show up the first day looking okay, or what you could do is show up in the morning looking okay, and then in the afternoon you could be all bloodied up, like change it up a bit in the bathroom, so that way it would really pop. That'd be cool. I might do one with the missing arm. Yeah, it'd be funny. Hmm. This feels like a nice one, but it's just stretched out a little bit. There we go. That's much better. So Isaac, you gonna pick up my trade paperback to my comic this year at Montreal Comic Con? It'll be 120 pages, and I draw a sketch of one of my characters inside. I'll try and make my comic available for anybody that wants to buy it online. Since you're so good at drawing, would you ever consider drawing a one-shot manga and entering it in a contest? I mean, just imagine if you won. I've done that before. I actually made a one-shot mini comic, and it's weird, like, I did the whole thing. It was like 6 pages, and I thought it was pretty epic. Like, even looking at it now, today, I looked at it, and I'm like, wow, this is, like, I did a really good job. Like, my storytelling in it's just superb. But I don't know, I was always kind of sad and salty because I didn't even get a mention or anything, and like the people that won, I was like, they drew such generic artwork, and I remember, like, because it was like a popular art style at the time, and I was just kind of sad about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that I almost made me feel like the person that, like, it was like their friends that they let win, but maybe not, you know, you never know, it's not fair to say that. It's just that it wasn't a very good experience for me, and I put a lot of work into it. And it was after that that I told myself that if I'm going to put a lot of work into something, it's got to be for myself. Like, especially, like, because it's not like doing pinups, you know? Like, drawing pinups, you do it, it's like like, it takes no time at all to draw pinups. Like, unless it's, like, Devastator from Transformers, for the most part, you're not spending, like, and even Devastator, I mean, the 80 hours I put into drawing my Transformer illustration is nothing compared to the thousands of hours I put into making my comic. And so the amount of work I put into like that one little comic where I didn't even get any kind of mention, and when I saw the winners too, because they were like, anyway, just to say, I'm very strong. I feel very strongly about working on my own thing, and I'm not going to do like a one shot for a competition. Just bad experience. And it's not to say that they're all like that. Like, I'm sure there's some that are super good. It's just not for me. Yeah, I'm going with the balloon, and red balloon easier to do. Yeah, that's true. I was wondering, are you going to do other streams like before? Oh my gosh, I would love to. I would love to do tons of live streaming, but I can't afford it. It's really like it's a monetary thing. Like I work a part-time job, and so I spend all my time on my, like, basically I'll do like 20 to 30 hours with my part-time job, and every other bit I spend working on my comic. And I almost stopped doing these live streams together. I almost just closed my Patreon account. Like, I was on like the edge of just being like, whatever, I'll just focus on my comic and I'll find other publishing companies to publish it, and that's all I'll worry about. And then I thought, you know what, no, I'll keep my Patreon account open, and I'll make it like the same price for everybody, and I'll just release like my live streaming that I do every Tuesday, and that's pretty much all I do now. Like, I would like to do tons of live streaming like before. That was really fun, but it takes up a lot of time, and I don't have the time for that. I can't spend like 5 to 6 hours a week doing live streaming, because it's very exhausting doing it too. Like, after this, I'm talking for a whole hour, I'm talking while I'm sketching. It's like, it's pretty tiring. I have fun doing it, but it still makes me tired at the end. So because of that, I can't do that and work on my comic at the same time. My comic has to take like all my time, because that's what I want to be known for, and that's what I want to hopefully start making a career out of. And I can't make a career out of doing it. Well, actually, if I did a lot of live streams, I thought I could maybe try and make a career out of it, but it didn't work out the way I was hoping. Which is too bad. Sorry, Robert. They can't all be awesome supporters like you, man. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you wanting me to do more. It's just, like I said, anyway. That's pretty much it. Everybody thumb up this video. Thanks, Legendia. Or DC. DC for the plays in the Unite. What does DC stand for again? Daryl Comics. Thanks, Daryl Comics. Alright, hold on. I just looked at it and I immediately forgot how it looked. I'm gonna do it like that then. Let's make it bigger. One like that, one like that. And then bring that up, I guess. The ears make me feel like you're drawing a Hyrule character. Yeah, it does have very Hylian ears. It's because I think Ryoko has elf ears. It looks like it. I'm looking at them here. Looks pretty elfish. Well, she's got little earrings too. I don't know if I'm going to put little... Oh yeah, let's put little earrings. What kind of sword? What does her sword look like? It's not a good enough thing for her sword. It looks very elegant, so maybe I can do something that feels like that. Like this video, you're all float. You'll float too. You'll float too. And I picture you floating away into space. Just gonna do this on one side. No, I don't like that. Let's just keep that a line. I'll make this one go in like this. There we go. Get her big poofy arms out. There we go. Yeah, Robert, I'm just thinking back on when I used to do all the live streams I used to do. It was so awesome. I used to do about how many? I would do about 4 live streams a week. Like between 3 to 4. It was really sweet. Like I really did a lot of them, and it was really fun. Let's bring this up, actually. So I did so many, and some of them were like me working on my comic, and well, not my comic, but like pin-ups to my comic or commissions that I had gotten. And the thing is that I can't show my live streaming while I'm working on my comic. There's no way. Because then it'll ruin things for people. They'll see me having one character murdering another one, and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, there's murdering in this comic now. I don't have murdering in my comic. My comic book is a rom-com to the core. Actually, well, I would say it's like a rom-com, slice of life, drama. So I don't really have a lot of murders going on in it. If you have 1,000 subscribers, you can get money on live streams, though. I will tell you what, if I get 1,000 subscribers, I will live stream draw like 4 times a week. Again, 4 times a week for sure. At least you have a better foresight than GameStop. They practically gave away free games and consoles due to a shelf policy. Yeah. I guess you're talking about like the PS3 and the Xbox 360? Because they are going through that right now. They're like dumping all their product, and it's like at an alarmingly cheap price. Alright, let's get her hair down. On another layer. If they couldn't sell it, they would throw the product away. No one minded the scuffs as long as it still worked. Oh my gosh. I know, man. I work at EB Games. And EB Games is owned by GameStop. It's basically like the Canadian GameStop. So I work for them, and I see it all the time. It's really rough. Like, there's a lot of products where I'm like, oh my gosh, I will buy this if you lower the price. And then it's like, nope. It's $100, and I'm like, well, and if you don't want it, we're throwing it in the garbage, and we'll break it and destroy it so no one can get it. And I'm just like, oh man, all right. But that's kind of the consensus on a lot of companies. Like, it's not just GameStop that does that. I used to work for Lego for a few years, and Lego does it all the time. They used to not do it. They used to give out like a lot of their Lego bricks and stuff to like halfway houses, hospitals for children, and it was really awesome. And then one year they're like, you know what? We don't want to do this anymore. So they now, like when I started, like near the end of when I was working there, they stopped doing it altogether. And it was just like, you had to hack it up, throw it in the garbage, mutilate it. Hide this so I can get in here and start erasing some of these lines. No, let's leave that. Ah, curses. Normally I would actually erase some of the eyes, but I feel like they don't do that in old school anime. They do it in that game though. Alright, well hold on. There we go. I'll like meet them I'll meet it halfway. In England, our main game store is called Game. Did you watch Pokemon? Nah, not yet. Oh, I want to see it so bad too. It looks awesome. I just haven't had the time. Somebody left my, like, quit at my job, so now I'm, like, extra strapped for taking up their shifts. Which sucks, because I don't like working more than 15 hours, 15 to 20 hours a week, and I'm doing about, like, 24, 20, about 24, 25. And that's not so bad, but I also work as a teacher for drawing, and that takes up a few hours, too, and that's what ends up putting me, like, I work, like, I would say I work about 30 hours a week, a little over that, so now I'm working much more than I want to be. So, anyway, like, I'm just gonna tough it out for now. It's not so bad. Like, I finished most of my comic already anyway. I'm just on the printing part. So it's really not bothering me right now, but for sure, like, by next year, while I'm working very diligently on my next issue, it'll bug me. It'll bug me if I end up working too many hours. Every year I always find myself struggling to finish my comic, like, months. I mean, I'm like, I have a whole year to work on my comic, and obviously I'm like, I've got a whole year to work on this. I don't have to rush too badly on it, which, so I believe you all know where this is going. So I hardly work, it's not that I hardly work on it. I'll get, like, tons of work ready for it, and all I have to do is the artwork, and then I like, slack off at that point. And then I have like 5 to 6 months. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. I only have 5 to 6 months. That's what I get for hanging out with my wife and my friends. That'll show me hanging out with my loved ones and people who care about me, when I should be neglecting them and just working on my comic book all year round. I just went to see it twice, and I'd even go a third time if you come down to Montreal. I'm not coming to Montreal to see Pokemon. For those of you that don't know, Montreal is about an hour. So for me to get to the cinema, it takes me between like an hour and a half. So I will not be doing this. I think we're pretty good here. Oh. I don't like this. I feel like her legs should be split apart rather than going together. It looks weird. Let's do something like this. So I could do something like that. If you want to watch the latest episodes, they're all online on the official US website for some reason. Really? If you don't mind me asking, what is the name of the one-shot manga you entered in the contest? I'd like to see it. Oof, I don't know. I called it Bonhomme 7 heures. So it's a French comic, and the point of the comic was to make a comic book that's based off of like myths and legends. And in Quebec, there's someone called the Bonhomme 7 heures, so that means like Mr. 7 o'clock. And if you don't fall asleep at 7 o'clock as a kid, he comes and he takes you. And then you're never seen again. So, that's the folk tale. Kids love it. And so I did a story about that, and it was just, the whole story was all about this little girl in her bed trying to go to sleep, and she's trying to sleep, and the time was going, and then she's all in her head thinking, oh man, gosh, she's gonna get me, and then she's like, wait, and she's got her little stuffed animal, and she's like, ah, this is ridiculous. Wait, that thing we made like 10 years ago? I didn't make it with you. I worked on it. Oh, but you did. Wow, I remember that. Yeah, you did apply to it. I remember. And I had done all 6 or 8 pages, and I even colored the first 2 to like show it off what it would look like when it's completed. And it turns out you didn't even need to do that. You only needed to show off the first 2 pages. And so I did everything. That's really funny. I forgot that you had done that too. So yeah, anyway, like I worked really hard on it and I thought it looked really good. Like even today I'll look at it and I'll be like, wow, this is pretty cool. And like my storytelling in it's like pretty spot on. And so I go over it and I'm just like so basically this little girl is trying to go to sleep and she can't sleep and she's in her head the whole comic. So like she's just thinking and she's like, oh, this is ridiculous. She have like her little stuffed animal with her, and then she's just thinking like, oh my gosh, like I have to go to bed or this creature's gonna eat me. And then all of a sudden she's like, this is stupid. I'm too old for this and I shouldn't be thinking this sort of stuff anymore. It's time to grow up. And then all of a sudden it hits 7 o'clock and then she gets out of front of under her covers from hiding and she's like, I won't be afraid of this anymore because I don't think it's real. And then she's like, huh, I guess it isn't real. And then the clock shows 7:01 and then it cuts and she's not in her bed anymore and like her stuffed animal's there and she's just not there anymore. So it's like it ended up getting her. And I thought it was really cool, but anyway, instead I can't remember the one that won it. It had something to do with space. And I remember thinking, space, there's not really that many like folk tales, Quebec folk tales about space, but alright. And we both failed hardcore, ha ha ha. Yeah, we did. But like I said, like I remember like seeing the winner to it too, and I was really disappointed. Because here I am hoping, okay, well, you know, maybe it's my artwork wasn't good enough, or maybe my storytelling was poor. I thought something like that, you know, like you put yourself through the motions when you go through these things when you fail, especially because it's like there's multiple people that won and like their artwork wasn't so great or their storytelling wasn't, and then I'm just like, man, what the heck did I do wrong? And then it took like years for me just to get over that and be like, no, you know what, I wasted a lot of hours doing it, and if it's not for me, I'm just not going to do it anymore like that. Or if I'm not getting paid for it, that's a better way to put it too. Like doing a whole entire mini comic took me a long time. So if I'm not getting paid for it and it's not a guaranteed pay, then I won't take it. And even now, I mean, I'm saying it like that. I won't take it now. I'm too busy working on my own comic. Wow. Man, finished with time to spare? Okay, that's weird. Let me add a bit to this. Alright, I'm going to lower the opacity down on my brush, grab a different kind of brush, and let's give her the old Ryoko color charm. But I don't know if it's up. If I have it, I might have it up on my Facebook page, or I might have it up on my DeviantArt, but I'm not sure. I think I still have my Transformer one. Like at one point I applied for a job at IDW and I made like a Spotlight Black Arachnia comic, and that was really fun too. I sent it in and everything, and I have a bunch of friends that work for IDW, so I thought for sure I'd hear back from that. Didn't hear back from that. So that was like another one where I was like, meh, I tried. I'm sure if I were to apply now, I would have more chances of getting in, maybe? I don't know. Maybe not. It's just I've drawn a lot of Transformers as of late. And I have gotten a lot better at drawing them. Let's just fill it up on the bottom. Let's fill up this belt too. Lesson learned. Never try for anything. uh... I would say more like be mindful of your of what you try for. Be mindful of where you put your time in life. That's a decent lesson learned. Because all the hours you put into something, do not expect to get them back. That's why you got to study what you're going to do before you do it. Like my working as hard as I'm working on my comic, there's no guarantee it's going to pay off. When I'm done my comic in, gosh, when am I going to be done that comic? In 10 years from now. That's in a long time. A very long time. I mean, could you imagine? I'm going to look back and let's say I get nowhere with this comic and I'm just like, oh no. There goes 15 years of my life. At the same time, unlike the competition that I had applied for, it was for me. So I can at least say I did it, and I'm proud that I at least managed to do it. I don't like that. A little wider. There we go. Nice work. Thanks, Zeno. Yeah, I figured, hey, I'm done right now. Might as well start putting some detail into it. Some coloring. Looks great. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, let's actually add a couple of lines here to make it look like maybe she's got like, that's not her skin. This is like undersuit that she's wearing. I could do it here too, but I don't think I will. I think I'll leave that as is. Let's fuse that to here. Make another layer, and this time what I'm going to do, go with a little bit of gray like that. Then I can erase this. So I can put a bit of shading on that. On her breasts, the way I'd like, anyway. I don't like it. My problem is that now it's starting to look, let me just try erasing it. It does look nice, but my problem is that now I would have to do that on everything in the illustration, like her hair and everything, and I ain't got time for that. I'm out of here in a minute. Let's do a little bit on her lips too. Alright, so if none of you know what, can you do Raftalia next week, or whenever? Oh my goodness, check you out, all into Raftalia. Well, she is the best girl from that series. I actually wanted to buy the Raftalia Nendoroid, but they're so expensive. I might get it anyway. It's super cute and I like it. But it all depends. If you show up at 7 on the dot and you tell me you want a Raftalia, I can I'll draw you a Raftalia. I say 7 on the dot. Like, I normally take requests between 7 to like 7:05. So, yep. Ask Robert about it. I want to get the pillow with her on it. For sure you do. Who wouldn't? Actually, you know what's funny about you saying something like that too? Like, Raftalia has almost like 0 fan service in the actual show. Like, it's one of those rare animes where there's fan service, but not really. Like, the few fan servicey moments that are in it are like believable, and the camera angles are never done from an odd fan servicey angle either. So like, I was really surprised with that anime. And there's a lot of people, like, the thing is that you gotta watch the first 3 episodes too, because if you watch the first, like, up to when he pulls her out, then you're like, oh my god, this show's awful. But the more you watch it, then you're like, well, you just get past that and you're kind of like, oh yeah, right, they didn't go in that direction at all. So it's not really a rapey kind of show, even though the guy gets pinned for rape multiple times. It's just, they do it on purpose to make him look like he's a horrible person. But it has to do, it's a plot device. So anyway, I was really surprised. There's one in the hot spring and one where she gets grabbed by vines. Yeah, the vines part was like, I don't know. I thought it was, like I said, like it didn't bother me so much. It wasn't as bad as it really could have been. And the hot spring wasn't fan service at all. You had the guy in the hot spring too. Like, it didn't show anything, and it didn't focus on any parts either. She was just in a hot spring, so they used her tail to cover things up. Like, for me, I'm kind of like, I'm surprised when they do stuff like that. Let's put it that way. Because they could have gone way more, they could have gone way hardcore. More hardcore than that, with the show in general and the type of show that it is. Here we go. Alright, so we're done drawing Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo and Salveria from Valkyrie Chronicles. If you'd like to know more about Ryoko, be sure to watch the Tenchi Muyo theme song, where maybe you'll see her in it. That's not the point. The point is that it's an English rap song, or English, Japanese, no, it's an English, like, crazy song with rapping in it and everything. It's all done in English, but it's like back in the 90s, so it's even funnier than the ones you hear now, which are terrible. Like, there's a lot of really bad ones now. Let me just erase that a little. Maybe get this a little whiter. That too. There we go. Save. Alright, so I guess I'll do my outro. Let me just grab my music for it. And I've got like 2 choices for tonight. Alright, whatever. I'm gonna stop this. Thus ends my live streaming adventure session for today. Yet the real challenge begins, listening to my 2-minute long advertisement on me, myself, and I. All links mentioned will be in the description below this video. At a young age, I realized that sleep was for suckers and I could get way more done by avoiding it altogether. But now that I'm older, all I want to do is sleep. I work like crazy. And with your epic support of not only, your epic support of seriously just $3 a month, you not only get access to high quality files with all the sketches and pinups I've drawn and completed over the months, but you give me a few more minutes of rest each day. And I can't possibly express my gratitude for this, so how about praise from a local celebrity?
Hello, my name is Xanathar, and I have a guide to everything. In this guide, Eric's live streaming session is at the top, so be sure to like his page, and be sure to keep watching him live stream and support him. Good day.
Xanathar. Oh boy. Isn't he a hoot? Alright. Some people are into old retro things. You know who you are. Well, I have my older sketches and drawings available for purchase on my Gumroad page. Now hold up a second, because this next part, as always, is life or death important. I know, I say it so nonchalantly, but the life or death part really is it's very important to me. See, my comic book is named Blythe. I write it, draw it, publish it, and I basically do everything in it. And I want to give it life. That's what's so important here. I don't want it to die, I need to give it tons of life. Like Frankenstein did his monster. but where my comic is my cute, sweet, precious little monster that takes up all my time in life. The beautiful electricity coursing through its veins are you, the amazing viewers and watchers of me live streaming right now or beyond. So, please help give my comic the life it deserves by subscribing to it and rating it a 10 on 10 on my Webtoons page. Seriously, that 10 on 10 really goes a long way. So, I really appreciate it. Now I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I have a blurry photograph of my kids from the future. Please don't ask me how I got it, and I refuse to tell you, even if you do. And with each person that subscribes and likes my YouTube videos, the photo becomes more and more clear. So with your help, you're not only helping me, you're helping cute little Leo, Raph, Casey, and April at having a future and an existence by hitting that subscribe button and that like button. You know who else is super important to the rise of my future empire? Did I say empire? I meant fun, friendly, magical friends of the fun future. Well, it's you. That's right, you. So, do you like sketching or drawing? What about making awesome costumes or cosplays? Well, you do some fan-related stuff to my comic, Blythe, and I'll assure you a seat in my future galactic foothold, as well as advertising your fan-related stuff on all my social medias. Did I say galactic foothold? I meant Adventure Friends Infinity Team. Speaking of Infinity, I haven't seen the new movie yet. Well, I have to go now, but don't forget that you deserve to have an awesome rest of your day. So, I'll be seeing ya.